The galaxy had always been vast and quiet, a place where civilizations grew slowly and cautiously. Many species had reached out to the stars, exploring their own territories and keeping watch over their neighbors. Among them, the Interstellar Council governed interactions between worlds, setting rules for trade, travel, and first contact. It was a council made up of many species, each with its own customs and fears. To them, humanity was small, new, and untested, a species just beginning to reach beyond its own system. They were not taken seriously. That perception changed in an instant dot in a remote part of the galaxy. Near a neutral zone, alien sensors picked up an object unlike any they had seen before. At first, it appeared as a mere blip, but then it grew larger, dominating every screen and analysis tool the Council had. It was massive, far beyond anything the aliens had constructed. The readings were strange, confusing. Energy outputs fluctuated in ways no technology should allow. The ship did not move aggressively, but its sheer presence caused unease. The Council held an emergency meeting to discuss what to do. Some argued it was a weapon, others said it could be a moving fortress, and a few wondered if it was the start of a human invasion. Fear spread through the council chambers faster than any argument. On the other side, humans watched the stars calmly from inside the Titan-class warship. The ship was enormous, designed to protect and defend, not to conquer. It carried thousands of crew members, each trained to respond to threats, but also to maintain peace. Commander J moved down the main corridor, his steps even and measured. He looked at the displays, noting the alien signals. The ship's sensors could detect the Council's scanning attempts, but the readings were only partial. The aliens could not understand the ship's systems, and that confusion was already creating fear. Hana, the tactical officer, stood next to Jay. Her eyes scanned the alien signals with a quiet focus. "They are trying to scan us," she said. "But their readings are inconsistent. They cannot understand our power." Jay nodded. "Let them see what they need to see. We will not act aggressively unless they force our hand." Below deck, Sue, a science officer, was running her own analysis. She looked up from the console. "Their panic is building. They see our size, our energy outputs, and they are assuming the worst. But all we are doing is moving through space peacefully." The ship's communication officer, Yumi, prepared a message to send to the Council. Her fingers moved over the console with confidence. The message was simple and honest, explaining who humans were, why the Titan-class warship existed, and that it carried no aggression. Humanity wanted to explore, to protect, and to make first contact on friendly terms. Even as the ship's size terrified the aliens, humans believed honesty was stronger than fear. Back in the council chambers, the debate was intense. Some members wanted to fire on the unknown vessel immediately. They feared it could destroy entire systems if provoked. Others argued for caution, to understand it before taking any action. Each alien species had a different perspective, shaped by their history. Some had experienced catastrophic wars, others had lived in peace for centuries. The appearance of the Titan-class ship tested all of them. A younger council member, a species with translucent skin and shifting colors, spoke first. "We cannot allow this to continue. The unknown is dangerous. They may be spies, invaders, or worse." An older member, with scales and multiple eyes, countered. "We do not know that. We see only a ship. We have no evidence of aggression. Panic does not serve reason." The younger one hissed. "Their power is beyond anything we have seen. We must strike first." Jay observed all of this from the ship's sensors. He could see the fear, the confusion, and the potential for disaster. "They are afraid," he said softly. "And fear leads to mistakes. We must remain calm and show them we mean no harm." Hours passed as the Titan-class warship continued its slow, steady approach. The alien scans continued to fail, returning more questions than answers. Some council members began to whisper about the possibility that humans had achieved something no other species had. Perhaps they had found a way to build immense power without aggression. Perhaps they had grown strong in ways the council could not predict. Inside the human ship, life went on as usual. Crew members moved through their stations with calm efficiency. Jay met with his officers in the strategy room, discussing the next steps. We will not fire first. We will not show weapons. We will communicate, and we will demonstrate our intentions. Hannah nodded. Their reactions are extreme, but we have to remember, they have never seen anything like this before. Their fear is natural. Sue added, our sensors detect panic. But panic is not danger if we do not give them reason. They will test us, but we are prepared. Yumi sent the first message, a simple greeting in universal translation. It spoke of peace, exploration, and respect for the Council's rules. It did not mention the ship's size or power. It only spoke to the hearts and minds of the Council members, appealing to logic and morality rather than threat. For a moment, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. The Council received the message. Silence fell over the chambers. Then, slowly, discussion began. Some aliens were moved by the words. Others were still fearful, seeing only the Titan-class warship looming outside their sensors. The debate continued, but a seed of understanding had been planted. The humans waited, patient and steady. They did not act with arrogance or anger. They did not fire weapons. They did not make threats. The Titan-class warship was a statement in itself, a testament to human survival, discipline, and restraint. Night and day passed aboard the human ship as they hovered near the neutral zone. Crew members ate, rested, and maintained the ship with quiet diligence. Commander Jay walked the corridors, observing his people. He saw determination, focus, and calm. This was humanity at its best, a species ready to face the unknown with courage and wisdom. In the council chambers, panic had not disappeared, but curiosity had grown. Some members began to question their assumptions. If humans were this strong, yet calm, what did it mean for the galaxy? Could they be allies? Or would fear continue to guide the council toward war? The questions were difficult, and the answers were not simple. Yumi sent a second message, this time including a basic explanation of the Titan-class ship's purpose. It was a shield, not a sword. It was built to protect life, to endure conflict without creating more. The message spoke of humanity's history, of struggles faced and lessons learned. It appealed to reason and empathy. The council read the message carefully. Some aliens were moved by the honesty and the history. Others remained wary, but even they could not deny that this species was unlike any they had encountered before. Humans were powerful, yes, but also disciplined and moral. They did not rush to dominate or destroy. Their strength was measured, controlled, and purposeful. For the first time, the Council realized that humanity's power was not just in the ship or its size, but in the humans themselves. Their restraint, courage, and wisdom were as impressive as any weapon. The Titan-class warship had arrived not to conquer, but to demonstrate that true strength required more than raw firepower. The first encounter ended without conflict. The Titan-class warship continued its journey, leaving the Council to reconsider what it meant to be powerful. Humans had entered the galaxy not as aggressors, but as protectors. And the Council, for the first time, understood that fear could be replaced with respect when power was. Guided by discipline and conscience, the galaxy had changed in those hours. The Council would never see humanity as small or insignificant again. The Titan-class warship was more than a vessel. It was a statement of human will, endurance, and morality. And humanity, calm and patient, prepared for the next step in its journey, ready to show that true strength came not from weapons, but from wisdom and courage. The council chambers were filled with tension. Even after receiving humanity's messages, many members were still unsure. The Titan-class warship lingered near the neutral zone, massive and silent. Its systems were quiet but powerful, and the council had no way to fully scan or understand them. Panic mixed with curiosity, creating an uneasy atmosphere. Every sensor reading returned strange or conflicting data. The humans seemed to be showing no aggression, yet the unknown ship's presence alone made the council nervous. Commander J stood on the bridge of the Titan-class warship. He observed the alien signals carefully. The council was debating whether to engage the ship, retreat, or try to communicate further. He could sense their fear through the intercepted signals. He turned to Hana. They are afraid. That is natural. But they cannot make the next step until they understand us. Hana nodded. Our sensors show they are scanning constantly. They do not know what we are capable of, and their minds are filled with assumptions. Sue, the science officer, adjusted her console. Every scan they attempt fails. Their technology cannot penetrate our systems. They see a massive energy output, but they cannot identify the purpose. That confusion fuels their fear. Yumi, the communication officer, prepared a second message to the council. This one was more detailed, explaining the purpose of the Titan-class ship and the philosophy behind its creation. Humanity had endured long conflicts and harsh survival. The ship was not a weapon to conquer, but a shield to protect life. The message emphasized honesty, discipline, and restraint. It spoke of humanity's history without boasting, showing strength through words, not firepower. In the council chambers, reactions were mixed. Some aliens argued that the humans were wise and disciplined. Others believed the message was a trap. They could not fully trust the beings behind the massive ship. Whispers and debates filled the chamber as each species tried to make sense of the humans' intentions. A member of a species with large, reflective eyes spoke first. We see their words. But how do we know they are not deceiving us? The ship's energy and size suggest power beyond comprehension. We must assume danger. An elder species with textured skin and multiple arms responded. Assuming danger without proof leads to war. The message shows caution, not aggression. Let us consider communication before action. The younger member insisted on action. We cannot risk waiting. One attack could destroy our worlds. We must prepare defenses. Jay and his officers watched the council's signals and remained calm. We are not here to threaten, he said. We will demonstrate that our power is controlled. Fear alone cannot dictate action. As the council continued to argue, small events began to unfold. Some ships in the council's fleet tried closer scans. They approached the Titan-class warship carefully, firing minimal energy pulses as tests. The humans did not respond aggressively. Jay ordered the crew to observe and record, not retaliate. The Titan-class vessel absorbed the pulses without raising shields or returning fire. Each test strengthened humanity's position in a subtle way, showing that their strength was disciplined, and measured. Hana monitored the alien fleet. They are testing us. They expect an aggressive response. Each test we survive without retaliation shows them that their fear is unnecessary. Sue added, This is the first time a species has approached us with caution and fear. Most would attack immediately. We must continue to show control and calm. In the council chambers, fear slowly transformed into cautious curiosity. Some members began to question their assumptions. If humans were so powerful, yet showed no desire to dominate, what did it say about their society? Could a species achieve such strength without aggression? The idea was foreign to the council, who had seen power wielded mostly for control or conquest. Yumi sent another message, this time asking questions. She inquired about the council's rules, their goals, and the possibilities for mutual understanding. The questions were simple but respectful. They indicated a desire for cooperation, not conflict. The council received the message and was forced to respond. Dialogue began, hesitant at first, but gradually more meaningful. Meanwhile, the Titan-class warship continued to monitor the council's internal signals. Jay and his officers prepared contingency plans. They expected that fear could still lead to mistakes. A single misstep could ignite conflict. But their discipline remained steady. Crew members practiced drills, maintained systems, and stayed alert, all while showing no sign of threat. After some time, one council member proposed a cautious meeting. It was a small delegation representing the council's varied species. They would approach the Titan-class warship at a safe distance. Humanity agreed. Commander Jay prepared the ship for the meeting, ensuring that the humans projected calm and openness. No weapons were raised. No defensive systems were activated unnecessarily. The humans wanted trust to build slowly. When the delegation arrived near the ship, the council members were visibly tense. Some of them whispered to each other, unsure if the humans would react aggressively. Yumi initiated communication, greeting them politely and explaining the meeting's purpose. The humans remained calm, professional, and respectful. Every gesture, every word, conveyed peace and integrity. The council's delegation noticed the difference. Here was a species with immense power, yet restrained. They had expected arrogance or hostility, but found patience and honesty instead. Slowly, they began to understand that humanity's strength was not only in technology, but in the people themselves, their discipline, their will, and their ethics. Commander Jay addressed the delegation directly. "We come not to conquer, but to understand. We respect the council and all species. Our ship exists to protect, not to destroy. We hope to share knowledge and build trust." Some council members were shocked by the clarity and sincerity. Others remained cautious. Fear still lingered, but it was tempered by curiosity and a growing sense of respect. They had expected monsters or conquerors, but found humans willing to engage in reason and morality. Hours passed as communication continued. The delegation asked questions. Humans answered. Misunderstandings were cleared, and small agreements were reached on protocols and interaction. Each step reinforced the idea that humanity's strength was measured, controlled, and moral. The council realized that true power did not lie in the ability to destroy, but in the ability to protect, to choose restraint, and to act with conscience. The Titan-class warship continued its mission, patient and calm. Its presence, once a source of fear, began to foster respect. The council began to reconsider their initial assumptions. Humanity was not a minor species, as they had believed. They were strong, disciplined, and wise. The galaxy had not yet seen the full extent of human capability, but the first steps had been taken. In the human ship, crew members went about their duties with quiet efficiency. Commander Jay walked the corridors, observing the team. Hana, Sue, and Yumi each contributed to maintaining calm, communication, and readiness. They knew that fear would always be a factor, but so would wisdom, patience, and restraint. The council, for the first time, began to see humans not as a threat, but as a species capable of leadership and ethical power. The Titan-class warship had not fired a single weapon, yet it had made an impression stronger than any battle could. Humanity had demonstrated that real strength lay in control, discipline, and moral clarity. As the first meeting concluded, the delegation returned to the council chambers. They reported what they had observed, and the council began to debate new strategies, not of attack, but of engagement. Humanity had entered the galaxy with calm, measured strength, and the council had no choice but to acknowledge it. Fear remained, but it was now tempered with curiosity, respect, and the beginning of trust. The Titan-class warship remained in position, a silent guardian, a reminder that power could be wielded without violence. Humanity had shown that true strength required more than size or energy. It required ethics, patience, and courage. And the galaxy, slowly but surely, began to notice. The humans remained patient as they waited for the Council to respond. Days passed, filled with careful observation, communication, and planning. Commander J walked the bridge, watching the alien signals. He understood that fear could last a long time, and that patience was the key to success. Hana worked beside him, analyzing every movement, every pulse, and every fluctuation in the Council's communication. "Commander," Hana said, pointing at a set of signals, "some of their members are beginning to ask questions. They are curious about our ship, our people, and our intentions. They are trying to understand us beyond fear." Jay nodded slowly. "That is what we want. Curiosity is stronger than fear when handled correctly. We will answer their questions honestly and carefully." Sue, the science officer, prepared a detailed message. She carefully explained the design and purpose of the Titan-class warship. It was a shield, a protector, and a symbol of humanity's choice to survive without destroying others. The message included simple historical examples of human struggles, wars fought long ago, natural disasters, and challenges faced on Earth. It explained that humans built strength to protect life, not to dominate or conquer. Yumi, the communication officer, prepared to send the message. She knew it was important to be clear, calm, and sincere. She began the transmission, addressing the Council with respect and honesty. Every word was measured. She explained that humanity had survived through hardship and learned that true strength required discipline, restraint, and moral choice. In the Council chambers, the message arrived. Some members were visibly moved by the honesty. Others were skeptical, still fearing that humans could be hiding something dangerous. Debate filled the chamber. Some argued that humans were wise, strong, and disciplined. Others whispered about hidden weapons, secret power, or potential traps. The Council had never encountered a species like this before, powerful, yet restrained, and capable of speaking truthfully without arrogance. One alien member, with silver feathers and sharp eyes, spoke first. Their words show caution and honesty. But how do we know they are not lying? Their ship is too powerful to ignore. An elder with scales and many limbs responded. Fear alone cannot guide us. They have communicated clearly and without threat. That is unusual for any species. We must consider understanding them instead of attacking. The younger, more aggressive members continued to argue for caution and preparation. They did not trust easily, but even they could see that the humans' actions did not match the fears they had imagined. The Titan-class warship did not move aggressively. It did not fire weapons. It remained in place, showing control and patience. Jay gathered his officers. They are beginning to question their assumptions. That is progress. We will continue to communicate. We will continue to demonstrate discipline. That is our strength. Hannah added, "Our restraint is stronger than any weapon. Every time they scan us and see nothing aggressive, they learn more about our intentions." Sue noted, "They still do not understand everything. Their fear remains, but they are slowly opening to reason." The Council decided to send a small team to the Titan-class warship for direct communication. This team represented the Council's diverse species. Each member was selected for their ability to observe, question, and report back. They were careful, moving slowly through space to reach the humans. Each step was measured, each signal carefully monitored. They wanted to understand, but they feared mistakes. When the Council team arrived, the humans greeted them respectfully. Yumi addressed them first, speaking in a calm, universal translation. "Welcome to the Titan-class warship. We are here to communicate and to understand each other. We respect the Council and all its members. The aliens were tense. They had expected arrogance or threats, but found sincerity and calm instead. Commander J stepped forward, his posture relaxed but confident. Our ship exists to protect life, not to harm it. We have traveled far to make contact, not to conquer. The Council members began to ask questions. They wanted to know why the ship was so large, how humans built it, and what they hoped to achieve. Jay and his officers answered each question honestly. They spoke of survival, of learning through hardship, and of choosing morality over destruction. They explained that humanity's strength was not measured in weapons alone, but in discipline, restraint, and unity. Some Council members were shocked by the clarity and honesty. Others remained cautious, but even they could not deny that humans were different from any species they had met. They had power, yes, but they used it with wisdom and care. The Titan-class warship was not a threat, but a testament to human choice. Hours passed as communication continued. Misunderstandings were cleared. Small agreements were made. The Council began to understand that humanity's strength was not for war, but for protection. Every answer, every gesture, every moment of patience reinforced this truth. On the Titan-class warship, the crew continued their routine, showing calm and readiness. Commander J walked the bridge, observing the team. He saw focus, dedication, and a shared understanding that strength must be guided by conscience. Hannah and Sue monitored the alien reactions carefully, noting small shifts in tension, curiosity, and respect. The Council began to see humans not as minor or dangerous, but as capable, disciplined, and ethical. They recognized that true power required more than size or energy. It required restraint, wisdom, and moral clarity. The Titan-class warship, without firing a single shot, had taught the Council an important lesson. Even the younger, more fearful Council members began to question their assumptions. They had expected aggression, but found patience. They had expected arrogance, but found honesty. Slowly, respect began to replace fear. The humans were not monsters, nor were they conquerors. They were a species that had learned to survive, to protect, and to act with conscience. Commander J knew the first contact was only the beginning. Humanity's journey in the galaxy would require patience, understanding, and continued restraint. The Council had seen only a glimpse of human capability, but it was enough to change perceptions. The Titan-class warship had shown that real power was not in destruction, but in control, discipline, and moral choice. As the meeting concluded, the delegation returned to the Council chambers. They reported their observations, and the Council began to consider new approaches, not of attack, but of engagement. Dialogue replaced suspicion. Fear began to be tempered by respect and curiosity. The humans remained vigilant, patient, and calm. The Titan-class warship continued its presence near the neutral zone, silent and imposing, yet non-threatening. Humanity had shown that strength could be measured not by the firepower one possessed, but by the wisdom to use it carefully. The galaxy had changed in these days of communication. The Council began to see humans as a species of potential allies, capable of leadership, discipline, and ethical power. Fear was no longer the only guide. Respect had begun to grow, and with it, the possibility of understanding, cooperation, and peace. The Titan-class warship stood as a symbol of humanity's choice to act with conscience and restraint, and the Council could no longer deny the truth of their presence. The calm atmosphere aboard the Titan-class warship continued, but tension remained in the Council chambers. While some members had begun to respect humanity, fear was not easily erased. Rumors spread quickly. Some argued that humans were too powerful to be trusted, while others insisted that restraint and discipline indicated a wiser species. The debate was heated, but communication with humanity had created small openings for dialogue. Commander J reviewed the Council's signals with Hana and Sue. They are still cautious. Some factions are pushing for a preemptive strike. We must continue to show restraint and discipline. That is the only way to teach them that our strength is controlled. Hana nodded. Their fear is understandable. They have never seen anything like our ship, nor have they encountered a species with such restraint despite immense power. Sue analyzed the Council's communications. Their attempts at scanning are increasing. They want to understand, but their fear makes them reckless. Even small energy pulses are tests of our response. We must remain calm. On the Council side, the younger, more aggressive faction had grown impatient. They argued that humanity's ship could destroy entire systems, and that waiting could be dangerous. They decided to send a warning shot, a controlled, low-energy pulse to the Titan-class warship to see how humans would react. They hoped it would provoke a reaction they could measure. J watched the energy spike on the sensors. They are testing us, he said quietly. Do not respond. Observe and maintain calm. Hana's fingers moved quickly over the tactical controls. Our ship can absorb this easily. They are trying to provoke fear or aggression. Let them learn that we act with reason, not emotion. The pulse hit the Titan-class warship, and the ship absorbed it with no retaliation. Energy shields flared briefly, then returned to normal. Inside, the crew barely flinched. Commander J's calm presence reassured them all. No reaction, he said. They must see that fear does not control us. The Council delegation was shocked. Their warning had caused no response. They expected anger or immediate retaliation. Instead, the humans reacted with patience, control, and even concern. The Council members whispered among themselves, realizing that humanity's power was guided by discipline and ethics. Yumi sent a simple communication. We observed your signal. Is there a problem? We mean no harm. We only seek understanding. The message shocked the Council further. Here was a species that could have responded with overwhelming force, but instead chose inquiry and care. The aggressive faction could not understand why humans did not retaliate. They had assumed that power required intimidation. Humanity was showing a different kind of strength, one based on morality and control. Che gathered his officers. Every test they send, every pulse of fear, shows them something important. They will learn that true power is measured by discipline, not reaction. That is our message. Hana added, they are beginning to see the difference between strength and aggression. Some of their members are quietly questioning their own assumptions. Sue noted, the data shows subtle shifts in their communications. Fear is decreasing. Curiosity is increasing. They are slowly beginning to respect restraint. The Council continued to debate internally. The older, wiser members argued for continued dialogue and observation. They saw the humans' restraint as a sign of wisdom. The younger, more aggressive faction struggled to accept it. But the test had shown them clearly that provoking humanity did not produce chaos or retaliation. That fact alone changed the Council's perception. A small meeting was arranged. The humans welcomed the delegation, maintaining the same calm and respect as before. Commander J spoke clearly and steadily. We do not seek conflict. Our ship is a shield, not a weapon to attack others. We believe that restraint, discipline, and moral choice define true strength. The Council members observed carefully. They noticed the difference between humans and other species they had encountered. Humans could wield immense power and remain ethical, patient, and restrained. The aggressive faction could not deny what they saw, though they struggled to trust it fully. The delegation asked questions about the warning pulse, and Jay explained it calmly. We observed your test. We chose not to respond aggressively. Our goal is understanding and trust. We will defend if necessary, but we will not attack without reason. That is the measure of true strength. The council delegation exchanged quiet whispers. Some members were visibly impressed. Others remained wary, but even they could see that humanity's control and restraint were real. The Titan-class warship had demonstrated something no weapon or battle could. It had shown that power guided by morality and patience was more impressive than any force of destruction. Inside the ship, the crew continued their work with focus and calm. Commander J walked the bridge, observing every officer. Hana, Sue, and Yumi each contributed to maintaining discipline and communication. The humans understood that patience and clarity were as important as technology in this encounter. Every action, every gesture, every response reinforced the lesson humanity was teaching the Council. Over time, the Council began to adopt a new perspective. Fear was replaced by cautious respect. Curiosity grew, and dialogue became more open. The humans' patience and moral strength had shifted the Council's perception. They realized that power without restraint was dangerous, but power guided by discipline, ethics, and wisdom could inspire trust and collaboration. The Titan-class warship remained in place, silent yet imposing. Its presence alone reminded the Council of humanity's choice to act with conscience. The humans had not fired a single weapon, yet their lesson was clear. Strength was not measured by the ability to destroy, but by the wisdom to choose when and how to use it. The Council had seen that humans could survive and protect without aggression, and that was more impressive than any weapon. Commander J understood that the galaxy had changed in those days. The Council's fear had been replaced by respect, and humanity had proven that true power came from restraint, discipline, and moral clarity. The Titan-class warship stood as a symbol of human choice, a reminder that power guided by ethics could transform even the most cautious and fearful. Observers, the Council returned to their chambers with new understanding. They began to plan for engagement, dialogue, and cooperation rather than confrontation. Humanity had shown that patience, honesty, and moral strength could achieve what fear and aggression never could. The Titan-class warship had not just arrived in the galaxy, it had changed it, teaching the Council that true strength required more than firepower. It required wisdom, patience, and the courage to act with conscience. The galaxy had begun to shift in its understanding of humanity. After days of careful observation, communication, and demonstration of restraint, the Council's perception had evolved. What began as fear and panic now gave way to cautious respect. The Titan-class warship stood as a silent sentinel, demonstrating a new form of strength, one guided by ethics, discipline, and wisdom. Commander J walked the bridge of the massive vessel, observing his crew. Hana, Sue, and Yumi were at their stations, monitoring the Council's communications and signals. The humans had learned that patience and moral clarity were as important as any weapon or technology. They had survived centuries by making hard choices, choosing protection over aggression, and their philosophy was now visible to the galaxy. Commander, Hana said, pointing at incoming signals, the Council is preparing to issue a formal statement. They are acknowledging our restraint and the purpose of our ship. They are beginning to treat humanity as a major galactic presence. Jay nodded slowly. This is what we wanted. Not fear, not submission, but understanding. Our presence must teach that true power comes with responsibility. Sue added, the younger, more aggressive factions are still cautious, but even they recognize that any action against us would be reckless. They are starting to respect our choices. The Council's delegation had returned to their home chambers after their extended contact with the Titan-class warship. They reported in detail what they had observed. Humanity had not fired a single weapon. They had absorbed tests and provocations without retaliation. They had spoken with honesty and clarity. Most importantly, They had shown that immense power could exist without aggression. This report changed the Council's deliberations. Members who had argued for preemptive action now reconsidered their positions. Dialogue and engagement became the preferred approach. The Council issued an official statement recognizing humanity's strength and ethics. They formally welcomed humans as a significant interstellar presence. Humanity had earned respect not by conquest or threat, but by demonstrating restraint, discipline, and moral courage. It was a historic moment. The galaxy had witnessed the emergence of a species that could wield enormous power responsibly. On board the Titan-class warship, the crew felt a quiet sense of accomplishment. They had achieved what few species could: peaceful dominance through ethics. Commander J addressed the crew over the ship's internal network. We have shown that power is meaningful only when guided by conscience. We have taught that restraint is strength. Let us continue to act with wisdom, patience, and morality. This is how humanity will thrive among the stars. The crew listened intently. They understood that this mission was not just about demonstrating technology or firepower. It was about showing the galaxy what humanity represented. Discipline, unity, and ethical choice were as much a weapon as any beam or shield dot in the council chambers. Some members had lingering doubt, but most had shifted. They now discussed alliances, cooperative projects, and trade opportunities. They debated policies not from fear, but from a desire to engage with a species that had proven capable of great power and great restraint. Humanity had become a model for how strength could be wielded responsibly. Meanwhile, Jay, Hana, Sue, and Yumi continued to monitor communications. They received messages from other species intrigued by humans' philosophy. Some had never considered that immense power could be held without domination. The Titan-class warship had not only changed the Council, it had set an example across nearby star systems. Messages requesting dialogue, observation, and peaceful exchange arrived steadily. J reflected on the journey. Humanity had survived wars, natural disasters, and centuries of struggle. They had learned that strength without ethics leads to destruction, but strength with discipline and morality creates opportunity. The Titan-class warship was a testament to that philosophy, and the galaxy had seen it firsthand. Hana added, "We have changed perceptions simply by existing as we are. We did not fire a single weapon. We did not act aggressively. Our power and restraint spoke for us." Sue smiled. Yes, this will be remembered, not just by the Council, but by the wider galaxy. Humanity has set a standard others may try to follow. Yumi nodded. The Council's respect will open doors. We can now engage, trade, and learn. They have begun to see humans as capable of leadership and ethical decision-making. That is more important than any battle. The Titan-class warship prepared to depart from the neutral zone. The Council watched as it moved with grace, silent and imposing. The humans had not sought dominance, but they had gained recognition. They had demonstrated that true power was not in destruction, but in the courage to act wisely, the patience to endure tests without reaction, and the morality to choose restraint over aggression. The Council issued further communications, inviting dialogue, alliances, and observation missions. They recognized that humanity's presence would influence galactic politics, culture, and strategy for years to come. The galaxy now knew that humanity could wield immense power responsibly, and that understanding could replace fear. As the Titan-class warship departed, Commander J addressed the crew one last time before resuming normal operations. We have made a mark not with weapons, but with wisdom. Remember that strength guided by conscience is the foundation of our place in the galaxy. Our mission continues, but we have proven what humanity can achieve when courage, discipline, and morality guide action. The crew nodded, proud and focused. They had witnessed history, participated in it, and helped shape the galaxy's view of humanity. The Titan-class warship had not just arrived. It had changed perceptions, earned respect, and opened a new chapter in interstellar relations. The galaxy would never see humanity the same way again. Fear had given way to respect, caution to curiosity, and suspicion to admiration. Humanity's first encounter had been a quiet revolution, achieved through patience, restraint, and moral clarity. The Titan-class warship was more than a machine. It was a symbol of what a disciplined, ethical, and united species could accomplish. The Council and the wider galaxy had learned that true strength lies not in aggression, but in the courage to act wisely, to protect, and to choose restraint above all else.